I was born in Reno, Nevada, the biggest little city, they say. I lived in the same house for 19 years with 2 parents, a brother, a sister, and a dog. I always surrounded myself with people I knew and rarely ventured out to meet new people. The summer before freshman year of college, I went on a mission trip to Haiti. Seeing a completely new culture was fascinating, and after that trip, I wanted to experience a life outside of the one I grew up in. So I decided to study abroad in Lyon, France. I purchased a ticket and packed my things for 6 months, and before I knew it, I was on a plane headed for France. The first couple of weeks were hard, but after getting settled into school, getting familiar with the city, and traveling with American friends, I became pretty familiar and once again settled into a normal life. Spring break was approaching, and I knew that this would be one of the only opportunities to visit all the major cities in France. I realized that if I wanted to make this trip happen, I would have to travel alone. As I began to plan my solo trip, a nervous excitement filled me. I had never tried traveling solo, let alone in a foreign country whose language I didn't understand completely. Spring break began, and on the second day of my travels, my cell phone died. Everything I needed for traveling was on my phone. It was my clock, my map, my translator. It was, most importantly, a sense of security. Without my phone, I couldn't get a hold of someone to pick me up from the train station, so I ended up taking a 50-euro taxi to a hostel, which was in a small countryside town. I walked around the seemingly abandoned town to look for a bite to eat, but nothing was open at 6 p.m. on a Thursday. I settled into my hostel, which was a rustic chateau advertised as newly renovated, but looked like it had not had any updates since the 18th century. The drafty house had a haunting feeling, made even worse by the fact that I was completely alone. There was no one else that checked into the hostel that night, and I was the only guest. With an empty stomach and creepy house, I stayed awake throughout the night. Every creak and crack made my heart skip a beat. I was terrified and alone. Finally, morning arrived, and with it the sun. I realized that I made it through the night. All of the deepest fears I had built up about being alone had dissipated. On my arrival home, I had a deep confidence in myself and capabilities to navigate an unknown place with nothing more than my own mind. I overcame my fear of being alone and being without the security of technology. Now that I'm back in the US and constantly surrounded by people I know, I long for moments to be alone with myself and reconnect with my thoughts. I still get that anxious feeling of not knowing anyone or what is next, but it doesn't scare me. Now I look forward to adventure and embrace the risk.